Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here, I'll discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The tarot card that sits on the side of the page at this time is the Six of Wands. Six of Wands relates astrologically to the second 10 days or the second decan of the sun's transit in the sign of Leo. Leo is a fire sign. Wands in tarot are fire. And fire is about spark, courage, let's say, oh, I know this. Motivation. Whatever fires you to get moving into action, okay? Motivation, inspiration, momentum, okay? These things are all embodied in fiery characteristics. So here with the Six of Wands, we see a moment where a person is being celebrated. It's almost as though they're having a bit of a parade for this person. So an accomplishment has been made, an achievement has been unlocked. And you see this person riding the horse. They have the support of their community, and they have the support of their own personal knowing of what they went through to achieve what they did. And then they have, the people around them sort of celebrating them as they, apparently, march in this parade or are just celebrated as they move through town. So this is a beautiful card, I think. You see the V here in the wands, and that makes me think about V for victory. So celebrate the victories, right? This is the hero returning victorious, having done something great that benefits the entire community, the entire kingdom, or however you would like to say that. So, there's a message here that says we do have victories under our belt. We have accomplished something, and it is worthwhile and it is important actually to celebrate the victories that you have. And part of the reason we have to celebrate the victories is that we can't really dwell in them for very long. We have to use one victory as sort of a catalyst to get moving into the next thing. So once you have celebrated your victory, you understand that you don't get to sit back and rest on your laurel wreaths there and say, oh, well, I did that, so everything's good and we've done it all. No, this is just like, step number 6 in your journey of 10,000 steps. So, celebrate the victory, be happy with what you've done, and use that victory, like I said, use the capital that it gains you, the sort of social capital, the political capital that it gains you, even the material capital that it gains you, use the momentum that it gives you to launch into the next thing, which will be bigger and will represent a larger victory for you down the road. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and mix up some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Leo. But first I want to say Happy Lu, friends. Happy Lunasa. This is one way of saying happy midsummer celebration. This is the first of 3 traditional harvests, and this is the midpoint that we celebrate between summer solstice and fall equinox. So this is the time when we're really going to start to see the days, the daylight itself grow shorter while the days continue to be pretty long and warm. So the sun's influence really does continue to dominate the sky for now, at least until we get to the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox, when the days and the daylight and the nighttime sort of even out. So the sun is in Leo. This is a time for us to demonstrate our love and gratitude and respect and appreciation for others. We can really make ourselves seen and felt at this time. So let's make those words and actions count, right? And then Mercury is in Leo, so we actually have an added ability to express the way we care and to celebrate our victories and the victories of others in a very dramatic fashion. I don't think I realized how Leo a card this Six of Wands is, but it's a very Leo kind of card. I love that. Moon is in Libra. Our hearts really seek expression in whatever is beautiful, balanced, and true to our experience, true to our desires. On the moon side of the page today, we have a little bit of a mixed bag. The moon goes square to Venus around 1 o'clock this afternoon. So for a couple of hours there, we've got a bit of a self-care challenge. And what it looks like is like you feel really open to perhaps attention and affection, and you would like to reach out to somebody that probably you normally do reach out to, but it's just not there. It's not available. That person's not available. That mode of receiving, that reliable source of attention and affection is not available to give it. So, we have to remember to give ourselves what we have given to others, to give ourselves grace and love and care, just in the same way that we show other people all day, every day. And then at around 5:30 this afternoon, Moon goes trine to Saturn. And this is really an ideal time to be working on building and repairing, especially when it comes to our interpersonal bonds with those people we keep close. Our efforts at this time to strengthen affinity and connection are going to be blessed because of that trine vibration. And then early tomorrow morning at almost 1:20 a.m., Moon goes square to Pluto. That's our void of course moon, making its last aspect in the sign of Libra before it moves forward into the sign of Virgo. So here we are, Moon square Pluto, embracing what we would rather deny, right? So what will you do, like from the heart, how will your heart respond when you discover or remember something that has been hidden, perhaps even locked away in your own subconscious? There's a challenge and a choice, okay? So for those of us who are dedicated to conscious personal progress, it's a good idea to find a way to embrace things that we would rather not have to think about or worry about. Void of course period tomorrow morning lasts 4.5 hours. This is the time between the moon's last aspect in the sign of Libra before it moves into Virgo. And this is a great opportunity to connect with our inward spirit and our outward idea or ideal of spirit. Engage in creative, reflective practices so that we can work on the questions that we have and how we would like to see them answered. And on the sun side of the page today, we have one fresh aspect. Mercury makes ingress to Virgo. Okay, so after today, we become less about grand declarative statements about how beautiful everything is, and more about being precise, a little more analytic, somewhat critical in our thoughts, plans, and communications. Mercury rules Virgo, so very comfortable here with our thoughts, plans, and communications. We just might be more particular. We really want to get the details right. So it also helps to be aware that, of when you have a tendency to maybe drill down on details that don't move the conversation forward. And then over here in the ongoing column, we've got a lot of things going on. Mars and Uranus and the North Node are all conjunct right now. Mars is going to be in this conjunction through tomorrow, the 4th, and Uranus and North Node will continue to be conjunct in the sign of Taurus through the 15th. So Uranus has been hanging out in Taurus since 2019 and through, I think, like 2027, and it's shaking up our relationship to the resources we rely on. The conjunct here with North Node makes us even more intensely focused on our need to receive the compensation of material stuff. We need to feel supported. It can make us feel a little bit anxious when we see how the trajectory toward our resources keeps shifting. But Mars has moved conjunct here, and it says, I'm willing to pursue the things I need in unconventional ways. Just, tell me where to look and I'll go and find it, right? So Venus comes into this picture as well in this really cooperative, sextile way with Mars and Uranus at the same time. And, it says we're willing to receive the things that we're not used to receiving. We're willing to receive things that may need our needs in a different way, or that may have been received in an unusual way. We want to work with these materials, and when we can receive things and work with them, we can see a good outcome here. Pluto is retrograde through October 8th. Friends, if you are struggling through a lot of change, if it feels like it's not ending, if it feels like nothing will stay in place, I'm here to let you know there's a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? This final retrograde in the sign of Capricorn is really putting us through it. A lot of people have expressed to me how much they have lost, how lacking they feel in direction, how lacking in stability their lives feel. Friends, this is what change feels like. And we don't ever really stop going through changes, but the focus of Pluto, the focus of those endings and beginnings, those deep and total changes, are going to start to shift early next year. And we can begin again at that time to build foundations that don't seem to crumble out from underneath us immediately. So for now, the fundamental stuff we have to work on is within. This inner transformation right now is not something we can avoid. And so I would suggest that we do our best to bring open-hearted attitudes toward anything that feels like it is shifting. Saturn is retrograde through October 22, and Mercury is in opposition to Saturn right now. Saturn's retrograde asks us whether we've been handling our commitments responsibly, and Mercury's opposition here reminds us again that when we speak, we create. It is in our interest to be mindful about what realities we create with our words, especially when it comes to self-talk. So keep an eye on that, how you're talking to yourself, because it's retrograde, right? And speak to yourself responsibly. Create a good reality for yourself. Jupiter is retrograde through November 23rd, and Sun is trine to Jupiter right now through the 8th. And Jupiter's retrograde is in the land of Aries, so we're finding personal expansion through courageous action. Sun's trine here brings our conscious attention and focus to opportunities sort of to bonus or to level up while we grow. That's really positive news. This is a very good fortune aspect to have with us at this time. Neptune is retrograde up here through December 23. We can perceive the difference between fact and fantasy, and we can use this clarity to our advantage. And Chiron is retrograde through December 27. Venus is square to Chiron for a couple of more days. And sometimes we get a feeling like nobody's listening or nobody cares. Chiron in retrograde is asking us to examine any defenses we have in place that may actually prevent us from sharing with people who care. None of us is a mind reader, okay? So we have to let other people know how they're going to treat us. And with all of that said, I got the Ace of Swords. So, the first thing that came up for me when I turned that card over was to say, I have a great idea. Okay, so this can represent a very good start in terms of our rational ability to sort of cut through the BS and to make choices that reflect discernment and sort of clear understanding of the situation, right? And I think that's really appropriate with Mercury going into Virgo early tomorrow morning. We do become more precise and analytic and critical, so we're really able. I think of the sword as being, double-edged, right? So we can sort of cut something off with one side and cut something into our lives with the other side, or everything that we do is going to be difficult for one and easier for another. But we have to use this discernment, right? We have to use this this clarity of judgment, and this the knowledge of actual data and information to make good choices for ourselves. And again, what realities do you create with your words? Swords are about our thoughts, plans, and communications. It's very much a Mercury vibe. So We have to be careful about how we're using our words. Ace of words there, right? We want to be careful about how we're using our words because they do create our realities, and that includes self-talk. If your self-talk is negative, we really want to pay attention to that at this time and try to make it positive self-talk, okay? Because there's this thing called a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't want to make up a future for yourself that you weren't trying to create just by having negative self-talk and not believing in yourself with the language that you use. Taken together with the V for victory, Six of Wands, there's a hand holding a wand here, that's fire. There's a hand holding a sword here, and that's air, okay? So air feeds fire. And I was just talking about how, when you have a victory, you don't just rest back on the fruits of that victory. You gain a lot of personal, political, social, even monetary capital when you have a victory like this. And the best thing to do with it is to seek to parlay it into something bigger. So, I have a great idea. I see this person sort of, taking their victorious status, their hashtag winning status, and perhaps even collaborating with somebody else who has a great idea to bring about yet another victory, yet another achievement for themselves. Don't be afraid to collaborate with others. That comes through with the swords very clearly. Often I think that sort of if we keep our thoughts and plans strictly to ourselves, then that's when we start to go wrong with the swords, with the thoughts, plans, and communications. That's when we start to have the hard times. Whether we're intentional about it or not, we wind up deceiving others. We wind up, at least robbing them of the opportunity to help us make our plans better than they are. When we try to act on our own, sometimes, we just don't have all the information and we don't have all the power that we would like to have. So don't be afraid to collaborate with others, especially if you have some sort of capital that you can use to invest. And I mean like political or social capital, financial capital, anything that represents your spirit and drive, your ability to work, even like your body capital, your ability to keep moving. Apply it in collaboration with somebody who has a great idea, and I'll bet you can parlay that into an even bigger victory or achievement. And I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more astrology today and tarot.